What is up, ladies? So I know I said I was gonna stop recording because it was being funky, but I'm gonna try to remember to stop the recording before we go to any copyrighted material. So that way, if people wanted to show up but they couldn't, they can still at least catch our conversation. What is up? How is everybody doing? I feel like it's been forever since I've seen you guys. It's what, been 2 weeks or something? I'm
This week has been a a doozy. Oh,
It's been a
but
doozy.
it's been a doozy. Um, my son's bus driver. So I got a call from the um bus garage asking me. They said the bus driver wants to know if you can meet her and get him because he's having trouble on the bus, like throwing like some kind of fit or something, like he's struggling, and this is not the first time it's happened. Um, So I met her and she's telling me supposedly an aide told her that my son Sterling punched a little girl in the classroom and that it split her lip, and that the teacher didn't think it was a big deal, so she didn't think it was worth telling me. So that concerned me. So I immediately I called the special education director. She was out until Monday. She's out until Monday. And then I called the principal, and she tells me, "Hey, I just saw I looked at the footage that we have, and he looks fine getting on the bus. Um, it doesn't even seem like they had an interaction with like the aide and the bus driver. Like there wasn't enough time." And so I'm like, that's just bizarre. And then the next morning, and I asked her to see the footage because I want to see with my own two eyes.
That's what I should have done about that situation, Lisa. I should have asked to see the footage. You're smart. Continue.
Listen, this is not my first rodeo. I've had stuff happen. Um, but so the bus driver yesterday morning was like, "So like what did they like what did you hear anything?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're telling me this, and I want to see the footage." So I go, and there's some, I think it's BS. Of course, the tech that helped her the previous day when I wasn't there isn't there, and now the that helps with technology kind of stuff. And so she couldn't show me what she saw the previous day. And that that's kind of suspicious to me. Um, but um, so I go, I or yeah. So she tells me that it's not. So she just showed me stills, and you could barely see anything. Um, then I was talking to my mother-in-law. She works at my son's school. She's a monitor in a different classroom. And she heard from the bus driver, it wasn't even my son's aide that talked to her. And we think that some things got mixed around because he had a couple incidences at school. One, he conked his head. I don't know if I shared the picture with you guys. He split his head a little bit. I don't know how he could have split his head with hitting a smartboard standing up. Like he was standing up. They claimed he was
Oh,
trying to stand
maybe
up and he
that thing that holds
conked
the
it.
markers, he might have.
Oh, I didn't think about that. You're right.
They're so short, they come up underneath it and hit where the thing
So
that would hold the markers. Like with the smart board, it's not a real marker, but you know what I'm saying. Anyways,
so we think the couple of instances that happened, maybe people are mixing things between what happened with him and other
yeah, everyone's
kids, and
playing a
like for
game of
some reason
telephone.
making it to be my son. My son does not punch people. He does not. Oh, the bus driver said he was swearing on the bus. I was like, that is not him. So anyway, also my mother-in-law says that the bus driver thinks that I called her a liar, and I was legit just telling her what the school told me and what I was going to do to see what I can see for my son to make sure he's safe. Like,
Yeah, I would, if
my
I were
son is my
you,
main priority.
yeah, I would see what you could do about switching maybe his bus or dropping
I'm
him off at a different stop or
I'm
something.
definitely picking him up now after school. Literally started that to yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I would do too, girl. Shoot. Well,
Because
I'm
he's overstimulated, I think, by the end of the
yeah,
day.
of course. Yeah, we tried to get Tegan's haircut after school. That was such a bad idea. That was
Oh.
the worst haircut we ever had. I was like,
How
what
long is he in school for a day?
It's a little different each day because of his therapy. So Mondays he's 8:30 to 1, Tuesdays and Thursdays he's 8:30 to 2:30, and then Wednesday and Friday 8:30 to 3:30. So long days, and he comes home and does therapy on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So he's busy, but he likes being busy. If he's not busy, he's up my tail, like do something with me constantly, constantly, constantly wanting me to do anything. He'll do anything. He doesn't care. Like we could just feed the cat. We could do chores. He's all about it. He doesn't mind. He loves vacuuming. Anyways, enough about me.
My nephew loves vacuuming too. They got him a little play Dyson.
We have one too.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
He gets mad if he doesn't get enough dust in it. Brianna, what is up, girl? I haven't seen you in a minute. You're driving. I don't want to like distract you, but I just want to say hi.
Hello, hello. I have been super busy and then pickup for ABA is at 8. So that's why I'm driving. We
Running
just
on
had just picked up. Um, but I am so glad I made it this week. I've
We're
been trying.
glad to
So
see you.
yes, I was having trouble figuring out. So my Zoom calls were my audio was I couldn't hear. Do you remember the last time I was on? Like I had to figure out why I couldn't hear anything. Or it was like I had to set up my Siri for some reason.
You know what?
So
Maybe that's what Stephanie needs to do because she was having trouble too.
did she buy a new phone?
I don't know. I'll have to ask her.
Yup. Tell her to set up her like voice, whatever, command or Siri or whoever it is if she has like if she doesn't have iPhone. Because
Good.
that's what my problem was. Because I do a lot of Zoom calls for Sophia's like therapies and like with her case coordinator. And
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't hear for them either. I was like, what is going
She's
on?
like, I gotta figure this out now.
Yeah, so I'm glad I did and could make it. It's been a
Hey,
minute.
girl. Hey, glad to have you.
Yeah, glad to
What's
be.
up? So, Meredith, I would love for you if you're up for it, girl. Like, just give us a little intro because I know a lot of the people that are here tonight didn't get to meet you yet, and who you are and where you're at in your autism journey.
Yeah. So we've been on this for about, I guess, like 2 months. It was right that I'm a teacher, and it was right at the beginning of the school year that Henry was diagnosed. So we are kind of in the very beginning stages of all of our appointments and stuff. Most everything right now is for my husband and I. Henry starts physical therapy on Tuesday, I believe it is next week. And then I have to figure out from there if we need ABA. I kind of am suspecting that some of his things that I think ABA would apply to, that I think it's actually has to do with the physical therapy stuff. He still, although he did actually in the past couple of days is starting to get some air, but isn't really jumping yet. And so like, I think some of his struggles with like trying to figure out how to get dressed and stuff is because he doesn't have the core strength to like.
Occupational therapy helps with that too, but Tegan
Yeah.
has that big time. He couldn't jump either. Girl, PT is gonna do amazing things for y'all. Like it's so
Yeah. So I kind of want to see what happens with physical therapy before I start adding even more stuff, because we have like our county has services that we have a caseworker for, and then we have the behavioral psychologist that we meet with, and now we're adding PT. So and then just with my job I have meetings after school and all kinds of other stuff that's going on. So yeah, it's a lot. And like when we're in sessions and stuff, I'm like, yes, this is great, this is good information, and I'm seeing some things that are already starting to help. with some of his struggles. But every time I look at the calendar, I'm like that swirly eyed emoji that I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's so much stuff to manage. And if I wasn't like hyper organized with like 18 calendars,
Yeah.
for sure I'd like forget appointments and stuff would fall through the cracks. So it's definitely been a lot to manage, but so far things are going okay. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now.
You know, one thing I will say about our ABA, I think this is something that a lot of people don't realize, or maybe it's different depending on the company you go with. But with our ABA, it's really just playing all day, and it's in home. I don't have to be in there. It's like a break. It's like I get a babysitter for 2-3 hours. It's like, is it not, babe? I had no life. I couldn't work. I couldn't breathe. Tegan wouldn't let me breathe, girl.
Yeah.
And so it was just a chance for me to kind of like organize my business, and ABA is my break time before school was here. And so now he only does ABA twice a week for 2 hours each day. But even then, that 2 hours, I can clean the house, I can make his lunch, I can cook dinner, like just without having to give that constant attention. And really, most of what ABA is behavior therapy. So if maybe that's something that you could replace that other therapy with, I don't know, your psychologist, you said you're seeing a behavioral psychologist. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, and honestly, the psychologist meets with my husband and I, and we talk about like, here's what we're struggling with, and then she gives us strategies to try out. So it's
ABA will do
honestly,
that all
yeah.
in home, girl. You might as well
Yeah.
switch that up. Save you some time and get a break. But every
Yeah.
ABA therapy company could be different. Like I'm just speaking for, but I found out the company that I work with is like nationwide. So look up PBS. That's where we
Okay.
go. PBS. Public, what is it? What does it stand for? Behavioral. I can't remember, but PBS. And
Okay.
they have like a little, I think like a little blue check mark. I'll go screenshot their logo and send it to you guys. But I strongly recommend them. Like they have been so great for us and flexible. And like when I had a therapist that I didn't really like her style of therapy, they were like, whatever you want. Like we'll take her out, we'll put someone else in. And there was no like waiting a million years. Like they moved people around to get us what we needed. So I really enjoy them, just in case anybody's looking for ABA therapy. But yeah, thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, no problem.
What's going on with you this week, Lisa? I know you met with the BCBA. You said today. Was that today?
Yeah, today. So we kind of he did it in home. My hair's crazy because I just
Girl,
finished sweating
you know
my
we
ass
don't
off.
care. Oh, did you finish your workout? You finished that
I
last
did.
couple. Good, 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 good.
Yeah. So I've been working with this BCBA for 2 months. And we mastered potty training.
Let's
My
go. The poop
my
too?
boy is 4. And we've been on our journey for a year. He isn't in ABA services because I'm having trouble finding a provider for our area and for in-home, which is what I want. So anyways, we met today, and we were talking about some new goals to work on.
Well, that's
So,
what if you're meeting with a BCBA, so is she not doing ABA therapy or
so this one that I'm with right now is I signed up for a parent training.
okay, so she's training you to work with him. She's not
Yeah,
working with him. Okay, I see.
yeah. Um,
So if you don't
Training.
know, anybody who's not familiar, a BCBA is the person who writes the program, the ABA program for an ABA therapist, or an RBT is what they're called, to work with that child for hours. So the BCBA isn't the person that works with the child, or the person that writes the programming for the person that works with the child. So it's basically like someone's boss. There's constantly someone overseeing the therapist in your home. At least once a week, a BCBA comes and watches to make sure everything is legit. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, this one, so it's a man. He kind of just gives me strategies. We go over like the good behaviors and bad behaviors. It's called the ABCs. So we've started like from the beginning, and I take little quizzes, every after every section. And so he helps me, gives me strategies, and just kind of teaches me things that I never parenting, basically, that, it's all new. So how I deal with him, and what causes certain behaviors and how to deal with those behaviors and what works. So we talked today about trying to work with him for haircuts, because haircuts are a big issue for him.
We
Um,
simulated haircuts. We started with like 30 seconds, and then we'd go up to like 60 seconds. And like the longer and longer he could handle a fake haircut with like little plastic scissors. But we stopped doing it after he mastered it. And then it was a disaster yesterday. So,
yeah, that's what we talked about today, that, even if we do kind of work with him and kind of get him used to it, once you change the setting and go and try and get it done, he said, who knows, he could just go right back to, um, what he does now, which is freak out. And then we kind of worked on some prompting of, asking him his name and getting him to tell us his name and how old he is. So that was good. And he loves playing with him. So sat here for like 2 hours and played, basically.
yeah.
And yeah, school's going fine. I don't think anything else has come up since we last talked.
Well, good. That's all good news. I'm glad to hear it, girlfriend. What
Right?
about you, Tracy? What's going on over there, Miss Author and podcaster? And I know you're just keeping busy.
Yeah, big time. I don't know if you saw it, but I posted the other day. I'm doing a I'm giving a talk to the parent special education
Yes.
group. Yeah, at another school, and I pulled up the school, and there was my book popping up.
Yes, I seen that.
Guest speaker, author Tracy Wolf, and I was like, God, oh my God, look at that. But yeah, so that's one of the big things. I had a women's group reach out to me, and early next year I'm probably going to be talking there about the book. And I'm also in the works with talking to a local bookstore about doing a book signing. So there's a lot of the promotion going on and happening right now. For the last couple of weeks, I've been writing my podcasts for season 3, and I just started that last week. First one went out last week. I have one more left to write, and then I'm done for the season. All I have to do is record them and then edit and put them up, which makes it easier. The whole process
What do
easier.
you use for your like recording and stuff?
Let me see if I can. All right, so you're gonna laugh, but I record my podcasts in my closet because
Oh
that's
no, that makes all sense. I grew up with a musician as a father, so we
it
had
has
a lot
great
of recording
acoustics
in
in there.
closets. Yes.
Yes. And I record on my phone, and I'm looking for the program that I use. It's a red dot, so I just need to.
When I was on a podcast with another guy, he had me download an app to talk to him through. It was weird.
Really?
Yeah, like when I was a guest, I'll have to look back at our messages and see
I
what.
would be interested in that because my next step, next season, I'm thinking about, there's so many great autism personalities on social media, and I'd like to promote each week a different social, um,
Well, yeah, you could make your
a
next
different
season
person.
just
Like
be
you would be one of the ones that I would like to interview,
sports.
and talk
Sure.
about, what you've done so far and what you do. I
You know
my
what you could do? You could do every week like a different guest. Like your next season
Yes,
could just be straight guests every show.
yes. I mean, my seasons are
And
only
that will
10
bring
weeks
in
long.
other people's audience to your podcast too, because when they share,
Absolutely.
on
Yeah.
Science.
So I think that's the plan for next season. The program I record on is ASR. I'm just looking here.
That's the app.
It's an app. Yeah, it's an app. I
There's
download.
also an app. It used to be called Anchor, but Spotify took it over, and it's called Podcaster.
Right.
Podcasters.
Now, here when I record on my phone, it is not a podcasting service. It is
Right.
just a recording.
Order to put it in.
I started with Podbean because they were free up to 5 hours. I'm all about free. So once I reached that 5 hour limit, I had to find something else that was affordable. I thought that Podbean was a little too expensive and it didn't give me what I wanted. So I moved over to Libsyn, which is excellent. Cost me like maybe a little over $5 a month to host. They are the host for my podcast. They put it out to Spotify, to Apple Music, to Amazon Music, and that's what I'm basically paying for. Now I also have a program that I use that is before I upload it to Libsyn, I have to fix the recording. I have to take out all the ums and the spaces and the flubs and all of that. So that's a different program. So it was a little bit of a learning curve. But once I got it down, it's easy. It's much easier than I thought it would be. But mine is just vocals, and there's no picture, there's no I'll be in my pajamas with my hair sticking up, and that's okay because they're only listening to my voice.
Right.
So
Right.
so yeah, that's what's going on in my life. I wrote something I actually wrote the last podcast, even though I had like 2 or 3 more to write. And I wrote like a little story, and it's called If I what was it? Oh shit, now I can't remember.
It'll come to you in the
Yeah.
middle of a meditation. She'll be like, it was
If I knew then what I know now. And it's about 3 pages long, and it talks all about, it starts off with, it seems like the moment you were born, the worry began. And it's all about, I
Shit.
needn't have worried. So it's, yeah.
It really did. I wonder if like you just kind of get this like instinct to just know like I have to like extra protect this child. Like we
I
were
don't
really
know.
bad with Tegan. We was driving him home. We talk about that all the time. Lance is like, I remember driving home. We were scared. We were looking at each other like they just let us leave the hospital with this baby.
We had the same, I don't know how many parents have that same conversation. I can't believe they let us take him home.
Yeah, right. It's weird, isn't it? It's so weird.
It's weird, but it's
Look at him.
It's good.
Hey guys.
It's good. So I can't wait to get to podcast 30 and read that out. It's going to go in my second book. It's going to start my second book. I've decided. So
I love that. That's wonderful. Well, we're all way in. There was one other thing that I just thought of before we do whatever we decide to do to cool it down. So as you guys know, I'm probably moving back to Michigan for my Michigan peeps. Probably in April. Is our lease up in April or March?
April.
Like when?
April 30th.
Oh, okay. So in April. We'll be moving back in April then. But we had talked about this before, like hosting an autism mom retreat. And when I get back home, this will be something that will be much more manageable for me because I'll have help there with Tegan, right? So I can get away and do things and have time to plan things because I'll have my parents there anyway. So just keep that on the forefront of your mind. If you're someone who needs to save some money to take a trip somewhere, start putting a 20 away each check, because I'm hoping that in a year we can really put something awesome together, maybe up north in Michigan, like Mackinac Island, something beautiful.
Fun fact, I had my honeymoon there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I think you told me
It's the
that.
coolest thing. Yeah, it's the coolest
I've
place.
never been. I lived in Michigan my whole life and never been there, but like
They
that
have like one
pictured
vehicle.
vibes. Yep, right.
Right.
We have to ride
At its own
bicycles around,
maintenance.
ladies. Y'all
Yep.
better lube up them kneecaps because we're gonna be riding bicycles all over the island. It'll be a great time. So it's something I really want to put together, and you know, my creative brain is definitely thinking about that. So just like I said, get your coffee can and save some money. So do we want to put up the number 1 if you want to do a 5-minute meditation? Excuse you. He has been sick. He can't get over it. Okay, a 1 for a meditation or a 2 for a 5-minute stretch? 1 for a 5-minute meditation. 1, 1, 1, 1. Lisa's like, I need a stretch, but I'll hit a 1. All right, we'll do the 1. Okay, let me see. So the card I pulled this morning was I am focused, but I don't know. Okay, somebody just shout out like a random I am affirmation, like I am driven, I am happy, I am patient. Just you can type it in the chat or just say it. I don't care, but whoever says it first, I'm just going to type it in and see if there's a meditation for that.
I am worthy.
I am worthy. There probably is one. Let's find out. Share screen. What the heck? Why is this been doing this to me?
Don't forget to stop the recording.
Oh yeah, maybe that's why it's doing this. Sorry for those of you on the recording. We are going to do a meditation without you. Should have shown up in person. How do I stop the recording from here? Stop recording.